And what Pinterest is, a lot of people like it for like recipes, decorating ideas, food, arts and crafts. They take pictures of things that they like, or they'll go to web pages and see a picture of a quilt that they like, and they'll click on it and they'll pin it, and it saves onto a page. Last time I did this, it worked out okay.
When somebody puts something like genealogy in there.
So library complaint about the connection or something with this?
Actually, X out that bottom box.
Something's happening. Okay, so here's my Pinterest page, and I made so here's Deborah Milburn. I posted that. I found some other bows. There's a guy named Frank Townsend Bow, who was a congressman from Canton, Ohio. There is a Frank T. Bow Federal Building in Canton, Ohio. Wow. I traced him back to Middletown, Connecticut. I found that BOW is more likely to be related than BOWE, because there's too many Irish bows with the E on the end. Okay, this is a guy named Erastus Bow. Erastus Bow was the first settler of Tiffin, Ohio, so he's famous in Tiffin, Ohio. And I found him really early in my search because I didn't know I came from Connecticut. I was looking for bows in Ohio, and his name turned up, and I was able to find all kinds of information about Erastus Bow. So as part of my search, I started filming the tree, and I found a guy named Travis Bow.
Before you go away, who's, 1 and 2, those two ladies?
This is my girlfriend Beth, and this is a bow cousin named Barb Burford, who comes out of that BOW family.
So that just means that they're related somehow?
No, they're just people that I'm friends with, and they probably have a new pin that I should look at.
Okay.
It's a suggestion I think for me to
All right.
see what they're up to. This is my girlfriend Beth. Now, a lot of these will tell you where the picture came from. See that one? AmericanPomeroys.org. That picture, I pinned that picture off of AmericanPomeroys.org. I'll go to that in a second. This here guy is Travis Bow. He's a cartoon character. Travis Bow is actually a real person. He was a writer for American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and Family Guy. Okay? So they decided it'd be funny to have a character with his name in it, so they made this character for one other episode, Travis Bow. So that's a funny one. So he's a descendant of Erastus Bow. Now, AmericanPomeroys.org, I think I can click and go to that web page by clicking on there. Well, I didn't think of what I wanted to, but let's just say I'm going to type in American Pomeroys. English.org. So there's a genealogy nut. There's a friend of mine, like us, named Bill Pomeroy, and he is a descendant of Erastus Bow. And his family got all the old pictures, and he posted them all on his website. He owns a business in Syracuse called CX Tech. It has to do with networking of old computer networks. He bought all kinds of outdated equipment and found uses for it and started a whole company. Kind of amazing. Okay, so AmericanPomeroys.org. Bill Pomeroy. I'm not finding what I'm looking for.
walls.
Brick walls.
There's so many sort of category for them.
Yeah, rogues and heroes. That's how it is. Do more. So, since I'm not satisfied with that, I might go to Google or just type Bo Pomeroy. Erastus.
You got it.
What did I spell something wrong?
Pomeroy.
Oh, Pomeroy, okay. I'll have to redo that one. It might come up anyway. Yeah, the Bow Family Collection, American Pomeroy. So, let's see what this is. Come on. We can change the security somehow. Let's try this one. This is the site I'm used to seeing. Oh, we changed it, darn it. Well, anyway, these are about 30 old 1900 photographs of these bows, so you can see what it's there. All right, what else did I find? So as I started going around these things, I found a few more interesting things, and I just wanted to show you some fun stuff. Before I even am friends with, like, that Jonathan Bow that did the movie stuff, he didn't accept my Facebook friend request. But his let's see, his nephew and his niece and his, a bunch of his family did. So I found his Facebook page, and then I looked to see who else he knew named Bo, and I started sending friend requests to those people, and then I got in. So now they know who I am, they know I'm not some stalker and that's trying to take their information and steal their identity. All right, so we're gonna go back to another person. So then I found this person named Ashley Shoemaker. I found her sister's website on Facebook, friended her. She accepted my friend request but never said a word to me, right? And that's kind of strange. Well, I can't remember her name. But she's Facebook friend with me. I look at her friends, and I see, I'm looking at her pictures, and her pictures, she's got a group picture with two other people her same age. Turned out it's her brother and her sister. And she's tagged them with Ashley Winters, with so-and-so Shoemaker. Oh, well, let's click on those web pages. So I find her sister, her name is Ashley Winters. Who's Ashley Winters? So I go to this, I find this one first, Ashley Winters, covering Ring of Fire. Apparently she plays the guitar. Let's see if we'll let me play it now. So hopefully you'll play. And she's a pretty good guitar player.
You gotta turn the sound back.
Oh, I gotta turn the sound back on, right? Thanks.
Taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours beat. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the found mine. I fell into a burning fire. Went down, down, down in the flame.
She's pretty darn good. Well, wait a minute, she also has her own webpage. AshleyWintersOfficial.com. You can go to that webpage and see more of this. So I looked further into her YouTube videos, and I started seeing more. Ashley Winters. Let's see what this one is. Her playing the guitar in a room. This is a professional music video.
It's just an average
some more, and she was like the #1 upcoming star of country western music. Wow. And she has a Facebook fan page, and I became a fan, and I told her I was gonna use her video in my talk today. That is cool.
Is she a bull?
She comes from the Bow family.
Huh.
Right? And not just the Bow family, she comes from Alex, Samuel, Edward, and Abner, which is the same as me and Carol. Okay? So out of Ohio, the guy who's in Ohio, one of her ancestors, another really interesting story. It is 2 o'clock. But this, I don't know, plug in the so as I was going back to find a grave in the Abner Bow tombstone, here's what I found. I had a picture of a lady named Eliza Bow Blackmar. And so she's on, I've connected her. It turns out Eliza Bow married a guy named Ransom Blackmar. And he's in some history books because he was a minister and he went around western New York, northeast Ohio preaching. But Ransom Blackmar turns up in history searches as a person who was a minister. It's still loading. Okay, so here's Eliza Bow Blackmar. So I made a page for her and I put her picture on it. And then I went about finding out, is there anybody who is a descendant of this lady? I got a picture of someone's great-great-great-grandmother. Someone would care about that.
Mhm.
Who? I gotta go forward in time and figure out who is her descendants. So, what's happening? It's so slow. There we go. Okay, so here's Eliza Bow Blackmar. So it turns out she died pretty young, 42. Her husband married somebody else. But they had 3 children, and I started looking into the children. So here's one named Melodia Eliza Blackmar. Now I got lucky with this one because my great aunt Nina's will left money to Melodia Blackmar Jones and her sister, Mary Jackson. Do you think I'm going to be able to find a Mary Jackson or a Melodia Jones in Buffalo, New York? This is all I got to go on. So I do a Google search for Melodia Blackmar Jones. Turns out, Melodia Blackmar Jones married very well. And she married a guy named Joseph T. Jones in northwest Pennsylvania who became an oil well guy. And he made money in oil, and then he bought a railroad, and he built a railroad that went from Pennsylvania to the Gulf of Mexico. And he became the founder of Gulfport, Mississippi. This is their mausoleum in Buffalo. He had some children. So here's Joseph T. Jones. I think I have a picture of him on here. But here's a bio on Captain Jones. It turns out someone wrote an entire book about him.